It's always inspiring to talk about Jersey and journey and our olden days. Whenever anybody says, tell about your story, we start with our initial days, but yeah, a lot of memories, a lot of excitement, a lot of struggle till we reached this point. So basically the Creamline is a brainchild of 4 friends. So that's the beginning. Like any other students in college, we were all excited when pursuing our dairy technology. So we are almost 7-8 of us together staying in the same place and pursuing same dreams. During the final year of our college, so we did our dairy technology from Osmania University, a small place called Bhaskar Reddy, where dairy technology was started in the year 1979. So we were second batch of the college students, and then once we are almost going through, it's a 4-year course, dairy technology, professional dairy technology and engineering course. So then towards end of our education, we thought we all will go to US, United States, for pursuing masters, MS, and all of us applied for it. So this is what do you call fate or tragedy or God-given strength. 5 of them, our other classmates have got admissions, visas, and they all left for US. And 2 of us, we were rejected by US consulate, though we got admissions into some US and for some strange reasons. So we are always thinking about setting up our own activity. We were never too keen for employment, but of course 1 or 2 years we thought we'll just explore. When we completed our graduation in 1983, we directly jumped into the action. First 1 or 2 years we struggled a lot in finding what to do, how to do, explored various, not only dairy, other activities. And then my other colleague, who's my partner now, went to Amul. He joined there, and almost 1.5 years of hands-down experience in the dairy technology and operations and all that. Yeah, meanwhile I started exploring to work to find out the rhythm, and that's when we found a lot of we basically went all to government dairies where milk is being wasted and it is not being handled properly. So then there we found some opportunity, then decided to pursue this as our own activity. Then what we did, we formed a company. So that's when we started the activity. Apart from the, we are 4 of us, like Bhaskar Reddy, he worked in Amul for 1.5 years, and Suresh Shetkar, he is agriculture graduate. We are buddies from childhood, and then Balraj Gaud. 4 of us was together started this activity in the year 1986, like that. So then we started pursuing this, and it took long time for us because as a technocrats, as a first generation entrepreneurs, not much of capital, all the middle class families, and most of us are hands to mouth kind of a thing, and parents, some of them were agriculturists, some of them were professionals. So it was a struggle in the beginning. We all kind of put with a great difficulty 50,000 rupees each and pulled down a couple of lakhs, and then we decided on a project of a milk. So at that time milk was reserved for cooperative sector in 80s, so, late 80s or early 90s. So if you want to start a dairy, it was not allowed. You can start some products in a small scale, but milk as a milk you can't pack and sell in the markets because it was reserved for cooperative dairy. So then we took permission under technocrat section. We being a dairy technologist, we asked them that we'll prepare this milk and milk products like ghee, flavored milk kind of a stuff. So on that note, we made a project worth 40 lakhs of with a project cost, and we bought a small piece of land 40 kilometers from here in the near beyond the Medchal in Medak district, and then we approached State Finance Corporation for loan. So they have sanctioned 28 lakhs of loan, which so then with a struggle it took almost 2 years to establish this plant. That was the beginning of the journey. So once we started, it was Greek and Latin for us, though we know the subject, but the converting into business, converting into success, converting into products and then cash generation, all these were real challenges for us. We just went as a green amateurs into the field. So initially it was very tough. We started making these products. Dairy industry is a peculiar industry. Basically, it works when all other sleeps, this activity will be running around. Both milking, milk production, milk operations and milk supplies, everything during wee hours. So sourced milk from some small farmers and sources, and then we started converting into products. But once we started supplying in the market, it was very difficult to survive. A lot of debts. Within 4 or 5 months we choked because we were buying from our own whatever little sources, and when we are selling, markets will take, sell, but they will not pay in time, and we used to go around and market shop to shop, and initially actually we made our own survey by just making some forms and meeting each consumer and writing down. So like that it went on for a year and a half. During that time we couldn't pay back our installments to the State Finance Corporation. Within no time the officers came, and once or twice we survived, but later they came with a lock to seize the plant. So that was the kind of a pathetic situation we have gone through. Somehow we went to banks and we took some more loan. So then we could able to sustain. So one miracle happened during this period. Somebody advised us, these products, the cycle is very long. If you convert and sell, it takes long time to you get cash flows. So during that time we thought there was always a gap in the market in terms of the quality of milk supplied, quality of service. So that's when we decided to go into the milk, and we started, we bought a small packing machine and started making pouched milk. Being a technologist, we are very much taught that cream is the most valuable product of the milk. So, and Creamline is like malai. People call malai. Malai is the most rich part. So that's how we derived Creamline is the name of the company. It's a purely a technical kind of a thing. And then when we were discussing about the brand, so again we thought world over Jersey is the very popular breed and most surviving and most milk producing animal. In olden days also, whenever anybody says Jersey, people used to relate it with a good milking animal. So that's how we thought Jersey. But the dichotomy is in this part of the country, at that time it was only buffalo milk. There is no cow milk, and Jersey being a cow. So we just tried to create a kind of a conflict in the minds of the people. Like Jersey, our tag name was pure buffalo milk. So the moment they see, people used to ask us, like, what, Jersey is a cow, how come pure buffalo milk? Then we used to get an opportunity to explain that Jersey is a brand name, Jersey is a good milking animal, but we deal with only pure buffalo milk. So that's how we used to win the consumers in the very beginning. So that's how the journey started, and then once we started milking, first time we have given a small advertisement in a newspaper, and on a Sunday because it was very expensive to publish a ad. So what we have given that pure buffalo milk will be supplied at your doorstep every day. So that was attracted by, on a first day we got some close to 200 odd calls. So we attended all of them individually about those calls, like who needs what and what consumer insights. All these things, since we are directly interacting with them, we got. And within a week, we got around 500 liters of order in the region of central Hyderabad, Himayat Nagar area. And we started supplying it, some of them our own, and we hired a couple of boys to supply these things. So this initial 2-3 months of direct interaction with the consumer and supplying at their doorstep every morning and listening to them, attending their calls. So we got in-depth knowledge about what consumer is wanting it, what kind of a times, what kind of a supplies, what kind of a quality and all that. So within 4-5 months we could able to clinch almost 4,000 to 5,000 liters of market. So that has given a very good moral boost to us, and cash flows were regular, because milk being every day, or they used to pay monthly cards. Some of them we used to collect at the month end, or some of them in the beginning of the month, like that, different combinations. So that has given some stability. And during this time, PV Narasimha Rao government, we all should be appreciative of his bold moves in 1991. So he has opened up a dairy sector with the milk and milk products order. Earlier it was reserved, now they have made it open. So since they made it open, we were almost forefront already into the market. So we jumped into the action and then started procuring more milk basically, as I was telling you, it's all insights into the consumer minds. Since we have hands-on experience of interacting with the people in the trade, and we were at the forefront in every, because initially we four was the employees of the company. So then only slowly we gathered. So what happens once we reached this 30,000 liters, initially we never procured milk directly from the farmers. We were depending on the cooperatives. So we went to the cooperative head and the government and asked, look, we are establishing this market and you supply milk. We don't go into the farmers, because it's two people. Cooperatives are like one of the established practice across the country since 30s, 40s. Amul established, and Mother Dairy, like locally Vijaya, Nandini, like that many brands are there. All of them are government brands, and they command a lot of respect in the farmer community, being a government organization. We thought, let them go and procure milk instead of duplicating, and market being dynamic and market being service oriented and market being a business in its own. So we thought we'll pursue that. So then they agreed and started supplying, and we used to buy from Sangam Dairy in Guntur, which is one of the good quality milk producer. And that's how we established the 30,000 market. But what happened one fine day, because of growing resentment and insecurity in employees of the cooperative, they immediately stopped milk within 1 week's notice. They said that we'll stop, will not be able to give because of various political pressures and all that. So that's when we have the first shock for us to source, because we established 30,000 liters, so many retail consumers. So then we started running around, and in a week's time it was very difficult to mop that kind of a milk. We went to Tamil Nadu, we went to Maharashtra, and we contacted various cooperatives of other states who are producing, who are in surplus in milk. We bought milk from Madurai, we bought milk from Jalgaon. So it was a real struggle, and suddenly the composition of milk changed. Tamil Nadu being cow milk, Jalgaon being buffalo milk. We used to come and mix the milk and supply it to the consumer just to retain them. And we used to lose heavily because transportation from far off places, some 700-800 kilometers, 1,000 kilometers we used to bring milk. So then that's when we decided, we faced some kind of a resentment also in the market that your quality is suddenly changed. We tried to explain everyone this is what happened, and we'll come back with proper solutions, and then decided to set up our own procurement in 93, 94. And immediately we contacted few people, known sources, particularly in the Telugu states, Andhra Pradesh, Guntur, Prakasham, all those good milk belts. So there we found 4 or 5 good gentlemen who are valued, who has got experience in the milk procurement, and then we roped in. We formed 5 companies of small 10,000 liters each company, where we have taken some stake, and we convinced them that we have market, we have experience, and you have experience in procurement. Let us build this procurement and sale entire end-to-end chain. So we could able to convince them and brought them into the picture, and we established these 4 or 5 centers within 6-7 months. And by the end of the year, we are back with our 50,000 good quality pure milk in our kitty. And by that time, we will be able to establish 50,000 market also. So that's the biggest leap. And since then, we never looked back and started. Now this is all operational story. As you said, the branding is a different ball game. Once we established consumer confidence, we established all stakeholders' confidence, because we used to in control of everything, right from production, procurement, production, supplies, logistics, and even agents. With everybody, a kind of a connect was there. It's like a family. It's a one big family with 1,000-odd agents and distributors and logistics employees. So that's how we grew as a unit, and time to time we used to, we have largely depended on the on-ground advertisement initially. It's all the small paintings at the POP, at the point of purchase. There could be some kind of a small board, ultimately it used to touch the consumer in terms of what they want, because we know that what are their expectations. That's when we used to move. We never went to television or high-end medias until we established fully. So once we started expanding, then plant after plant, we spread our wings. Creamline's view is like dairy operations across the world is regional. You can cater with the 200 to 300 kilometers radius. So there you have a plant, the procurement, and supply fresh milk to these consumers. It's all overnight. Like today I procure, by tomorrow morning everything will be delivered, processed, pasteurized, everything in terms of good quality. So then once we established here, we moved to other places like Vijayawada, contiguous places, established a plant there. With our experience, established a market. Then the surplus was there in our region, and we could cross within no time 1.5 lakh liters. So then we established processing at Chennai. We extended our operations to Chennai and then to Bangalore. So like that, entire South India, plant after plant. Currently we have 11 plants. And to balance this, this milk is a peculiar industry where you produce huge volumes in flush, and lean you will be shortage. Like you will not be able to meet demand, but whereas in flush you will surplus by 40-50%. So to conserve this, we have set up a integrated powder plant, milk powder and butter plant at Ongole. So all the milk which is surplus will be sent to that plant, and from there it will be converted into milk and milk powder. And then we extended logically to various value-added products like butter, buttermilk, ghee, lassi, flavored milk, milkshakes, like that. Product after product, entire range, the paneer, doodh peda, like that. The various products were established. And now once more number of products are coming, the brand's architecture will come into picture and who are the consumers. In Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Kerala. Yeah. So basically dairy industry, in terms of organized players, in South India there are 5 to 6 players who are more or less, each one is strong in one region. It's not uniform, like a Tamil Nadu player is strong in Tamil Nadu and Hyderabad players are strong in Hyderabad, and some of them southern Andhra Pradesh players are strong in Bangalore, like that different. So we command around now 10%, 11 market share in this region, and some places we have 5 to 6%. Like that each region is there, but in net if you compare, we'll be third or player in the entire South India. My native place is near Suryapet in Nalgonda district, erstwhile. So basically farming background, but my father was an Ayurvedic doctor. So we did our regular till intermediate, it's all routine. But after that, I tried for medicine by writing entrance. I couldn't get, like in that MSET or whatever. So it's the next is agriculture BSc and next is dairy. Like that we ended up there. In the hierarchy, we got admissions into all my friends also more or less. I'm a science based graduate, science graduate or an intermediate science student. So in science student, what happens in your BPC? The logical conclusion is every parents want you to be a doctor. So everybody attempts, and some of them will succeed, and we couldn't succeed. So then we landed up in the dairy technology. No, it's a kind of like or brought up. We were always taught to be independent. So that's from my parents. They used to always encourage. So during that time there is no communication tools. Once you go out of a house, until you come back, nobody knows where are you, where were you, and all that. So even in college, in schooling onwards, we used to be very independent, and our parents used to encourage that do whatever you want, kind of a atmosphere was there in our house. So yeah, once we completed, the other point is maybe because we left home early, now at the age of 18, 19. Once you complete your 12th grade, then you go out, and normally in other countries it happens. In Western world, they'll say that once I attain 18 years, thereby they are mandated, they have to go out and find their own job or some kind of self-supporting. They live with their own friends and then pursue this thing. That's how the entrepreneurship and dynamism will come into the life. So fortunately, our college being outside the Hyderabad, at the early age we were pushed out of the house, and then you start learning yourself. You start searching yourself for various things, and we used to cook ourselves, and we used to like live ours without any support, kind of a thing. It's all monthly. At month end, we used to wait for our monthly, some 250 to 300 rupees of monthly expenses from father. Money order used to come. So with that, we used to survive entire month. So then you know that how to spend those money in a limited. Resources are limited, and opportunities as being independent many. So then you have to ration it, you have to live towards end of the month, always used to be a struggle. So I think our independent nature in the college, and even after coming out, exploring on our own. And okay, lot of inspirations are there whenever we meet any person, any business person who's doing well. We used to, that used to excite us. So that's how we landed up. Basically, we are a group of friends. So that's how we started the entire activity. So the bonding was so close and so understanding. So we never faced any issues. So right from beginning, we all grew up together. After college, we used to hang out together, and then we all got married during in a period of 2-3 months. Everybody, and our children are also in the same bracket, all grew up together. So we used to hang around very closely and go to tours or excursions or every year twice together with the families. So the bondage was so close. All these years we were as a one unit. So there was never any difference between a business and personal lives. It was so interlinked and closely knitted. So that's how we developed understanding. And by nature, like the Chandrasekhar Reddy, I said he went for Amul for a year, and then he evolved as a production man, as a technical man. He became technical director because his keen eye to find different solutions in the practically. He used to stay in the beginning 24/7 at the plant, living with the workers, living with the farmers. So he developed a kind of a interest in that. So ultimately he has become a technical director. And similarly, Balraj Gaud was more into procurement. He used to see the procurement activities. He's interested in initially for some time some market also he used to roam around. So markets and procurement and external activities and liaising, all these things he used to take care of. And in between, Mr. Gangadhar has joined us from Sangam Dairy in 93 when we are just establishing. He was the only professional in the company in terms of, he is a chartered accountant and he served as a DGM there. So he has with a, that was one of the lacking area for this friends group, the finance. So that gap was filled by Mr. Gangadhar. So that's how we have come together, and finance was completely his forte. So while establishing this entire activity, there was one slight lacuna was there in our group. Nobody was having knowledge about finance, and finance being one of the important activity. So during this journey, one of other partner, Suresh Shetkar, who was promoter director right from beginning. So in the beginning itself, he was forced to enter into politics because his forefathers were in freedom fighters, and his grandfather was MLA, father was MLA. That's how he was lured into the subject, and ultimately he has become MLA, MP and all that. In the initial stage, he has become passive. Like only myself, Chandrasekhar Reddy and Balraj Gaud were handling this. And this professionally we were lacking this finance, so that's when Mr. Gangadhar entered into the our group. So he was DGM finance in Sangam Dairy, and from there he joined us as a partner in, and he has become a finance director. So that has strengthened our group much more, so that now fully we are integrated. Because Shekhar Reddy was looking at technical aspects, being a only technical man, and Mr. Gaud was looking at marketing and administration and kind of stuff, and finance was Gangadhar. So now everything was there for me. So I used to manage administration and all that with the full support of my colleagues. I become a face of the organization in terms of dealing with institutions, financial institutions and markets. So basically we have accustomed to a simple life. So it's not very complex though, because we have seen all the right from all the struggles in the life, and we have never gone into a very wealthy aristocratic lifestyle and all that till recently. My wife is housewife, and my son and daughter were studied in Little Flower School, and then later Narayana and CBIT engineering, and now my son went to US for his masters in financial engineering. Later he joined Moody's as a financial analyst, and now he is working on a startup. Similarly, each of our friends' sons also, each one pursued their own passion. Not many were interested in coming back into this field also. So wealth creation, we are on the path. So, but they are pursuing their passions, and we never stopped them, because whatever they like, they should do. That was the concept. And for this, entire family support is there, and my wife is also graduate, and she is she used to teach the children to groom them into good human beings. That's the only point. And other point in this entire activities, during 2004, we joined with Godrej Agrovet as a partner, because Godrej Agrovet is one of the largest feed company in the country, and Godrej being a very great brand name, and for values, we share similar values. So all these years of journey, we never compromised on the value system. So that's the strength of this organization. We used to inculcate the same value system of a common middle class, either consumer, because we take milk from farmers who will be struggling their entire life to meet both ends, and similarly consumers, our milk consumers are basic consumers. Like we used to cherish the moments when a small baby who has grown on our milks for 20 years and who come and join us as internship and all that, when her or his parents say that our baby has grown on Jersey milk for 20 years. So we feel we'll take that pleasure. So that's how our value system was there. We shared common value with Godrej. So when they approached us for developing the milk in the same given area, to double the milk by introducing modified feed, we joined with them immediately. They invested 25%. So, but some of the experiments couldn't succeed the way we thought. They hired a gold rat consultants from Israel. They came and worked closely with us. We all worked. But later they have become a pure financial investor, because that particular project didn't work. But they were active in the board, and they used to give suggestions whatever required. For next 10 years we worked together, and we both understood each other. And recently during 2015 we thought we'll take the organization to the next level. Currently we are around 1200 crores top line. We would like to double in 3 years, 3 to 4 years. So then that's when Godrej took a further stakeholding. Initially we started this with all small shareholders of friends and relatives were there. They were there with us for almost 20 years. Then we thought this is time to give exit if anybody wants, and that's how we brought Godrej for further strengthening their stake to 51%, and move into professional management. Like we are already working since 25 to 30 years now, and second generation is not very keen to take up the mantle. So what we thought then, it is time to put a step back and slowly prepare a succession plan and professionalize the entire organization. Ultimately, stakeholders' value is key for any business. So, and then with the help of Godrej Agrovet in 2015, we strengthened their stake to 51% and brought the entire professional management. Now we have become mentors to all these professional team. Almost 10 to 12 CXOs at various levels we brought in, and now we are actively guiding them to take forward this to a bigger leap and bigger value creation. And that's how we recently launched many products, long shelf life products. Now we are using distribution network, retail network. The growth is much faster. So some of the products like curd and all that are, it's a revolution in the entire country. Earlier, curd used to be made by housewives at home. So now slowly, very steadily converting into the purchased curd. Like, mark my words, in next 3-4 years, people stop making curd at home. They are buying the curd by kg, by 200 grams, 100 grams. Even a typical labor who is going for construction labor, going for work also, buying a 200 gram pack and eating in their lunch. Because it's a laborious process of heating and waiting for some time and setting. Because of the temperatures, it may set, may not set. So we are seeing excellent growth of 20% in last few years, and it is going to completely convert the markets. Basically, now many people are started looking this as a subject, but unless you have passion, unless you have interest in the subject, just for making money coming will not make any sense here, because it's a very tough subject. It is very hard working, because again the same thing, farmer to consumer, at everything is a very big challenge. Logistically perishable crude, within given time it has to reach consumer, and temperatures has to be maintained. So it's a relatively tough subject. But any young entrepreneur who is really interested, who want to, many people come to me for advice in terms of I want to set up a farm, dairy farm. So then I advise them, dairy farm is not a lucrative thing. It is, you have to have that affinity towards animals. You should love, like it's a growing a pet in your house. Like you should have that connect, passion, and you have to spend time in the farm. You have to stay there. It will not work if you go in a car 100 kilometers by burning petrol and every day coming and I want to see on the superficial note. That will not work. So you have that passion, dedication, and you want to stay there and work, and you should be satisfied with whatever limited profit. Then you will enjoy the entire activity. The moment you are looking for big, then this is not your cup of tea. Yeah, you can in the process. Money is always a byproduct of your effort. Like if you keep working, and someday you'll find those rhythm. First you need to understand at the bottom level what are all the nuances, what are all the activities. So that's how it works. Basically subject is continuously growing because economy is growing, and consumers interest and consumers tastes are growing. When we started, it was only 160 grams per capita consumption in the country. Now it is 350 grams, so it almost tripled, and India is one of the largest milk producing country. So a lot of new things have come, new technologies are emerging. So basically we keep abreast with the latest developments. I am part of many trade organizations. I am active in Indian Dairy Association. I had president of Indian Dairy Association in this region, earlier Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. And we keep attending seminars, we keep attending, presenting papers. So basically if you want to learn anything, you need to step out and meet people, travel. At the ground you observe things. So that's how now entire almost across the country dairy industry, wherever any opportunity comes, we'll go and meet and talk to counterparts or talk to shop floor people, like what's happening, how and all that. That's how we'll keep our knowledge growing.